The escalating humanitarian crisis, I want to welcome UN Assistant High Commissioner for Operations Raouf Mazou. Assistant High Commissioner, we have just seen some of the heartache happening right now in Phil's reporting from Poland. It's happening all over. And that top-line number, now more than 1 million refugees already leaving Ukraine in such a short time. Just how urgent is this crisis that the world is witnessing right now?
This crisis is extremely urgent because, as you said, we've seen more than 1.2 million people crossing in just a week into neighboring countries, into Poland, Moldova, Hungary, Slovakia, Romania. In addition to this 1.2 million, we also have a number of people who have been displaced internally in Ukraine in the past week, and we have probably not seen in the past 20-25 years such a rapid movement of population moving into neighboring countries.
I was going to ask how this compares to other refugee crises. It seems like this is truly unprecedented. Can you tell us more about what your UN representatives on the ground there are saying about the current conditions for all of these people who are trying to get out?
First, we have an important team in Ukraine itself, and they are, to the extent possible, providing assistance to those who are still in the country, those who are moving in the country. They are doing that with our partners, doing that with other UN colleagues. In addition to that, we have colleagues in each of the countries that I've mentioned earlier who have been deployed there. We already had officers before this crisis, but we've strengthened these officers in order for them to be able to help governments receive the people who are crossing the border and provide them with assistance. I say help governments because it is governments which have the first responsibility to provide that support, to register, and to provide the support required.
I'm curious on that subject that you bring up, needing that international community's help. And we know that at least, for example, the European Union is offering temporary protected status for up to 3 years for Ukrainian refugees. What role do all of these other countries play in solving this crisis, if there even is any solution to it?
They are focusing on what you described yourself as an incredible crisis, which is to respond to the humanitarian needs of those who are crossing the border. You made reference to the fact that the European Union has recently instituted a temporary protection system, and that indeed allows people for 1 up to 3 years to receive support, to receive protection, to be able to work in the countries which have welcomed them in Europe. So that's a crucial support, crucial need that is the crucial assistance that is now being provided by neighboring countries.
All of these Ukrainians are leaving because a lot of Ukrainians are dying. We know the United Nations is reporting hundreds of civilian casualties, and that number is rising. And of course, it includes children too. U.S. officials say Russia's only intensifying its attacks on civilian targets. Now, we keep saying the horrifying videos of this. The UN's called for an end to Russia's offensive, but what steps can the UN take right now to protect these innocent people?
What is essential now, as people cross the border into neighboring countries, to make sure that they receive the assistance that they require. These are people who've lost everything. You can see the images of people basically crossing the border with only their clothes on and nothing else. So what the UN does is to provide support to the countries that are receiving them.
Obviously, we are going to need a lot more help, but based on what you're seeing, is the world and the UN doing enough right now?
I would say first, and that must be underlined, the population which are receiving those crossing the border are doing a lot to provide support and to make sure that they are received, because that when you cross the border and you arrive in a country, that's what you need to get as assistance. So that support is being given. We've launched an appeal 2 days ago. The international community launched an appeal, $1.7 billion. It's a lot of money for assistance to Ukrainian, both inside Ukraine and in neighboring countries.
Finally, sir, we've been reporting on some refugees who are in Ukraine but are from Africa, from India, from the Middle East. A lot of them are students. And there's reports about discrimination that some of them are facing as they are trying to flee like everybody else is. I know you have extensive experience in Africa. What can you tell us about those troubling reports?
It's very troubling, and we've been very perturbed by seeing this kind of reports. These are primarily students, indeed, who came from their country, came to Ukraine to study, to acquire new knowledge. They were welcomed by people in Ukraine. And we've seen these very troubling reports, both inside Ukraine and sometimes when they were trying to cross the border. The first thing one should say is that we have called on, and our High Commissioner, who is currently in the region, has called on everybody, all the governments in the receiving countries, to continue to receive people who are crossing the border, not to discriminate in any way or form, and make sure that everybody can cross, everybody, and they are all fleeing the same threats, and they should therefore be provided with the same support, with absolutely no discrimination. You and your team are doing absolutely incredibly important work right now. We appreciate you taking a couple minutes to talk to us.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.